The next State of Nation address, the bicameral parliament. Recently, we oversaw the elections of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker, which was marred by some wrangles of the Azimio. It was a face-off between the Kenya Kwanza coalition and Azimio coalition. In paper, Azimio coalition are the majority, but in the ground, Kenya Kwanza coalition are the majority. This is because William RUTO went ahead and wooed the UDM members and other MPs to join his team. In that connection, in the elections, the Kenya Kwanza in the Senate voted overwhelmingly for Amason Jeffa Kingi. This is because the Azimio brigade rose a lot of complaints. They wanted the sittings to be suspended, and they walked out of the Senate chambers. That displays there is a lot of scattered flocks with no shepherd. The last-minute rush and resignation of the watermelon, Kalonzo Musyoka, displays a lot of lack of leadership in the Azimio brigade. Let us go to the National Assembly. They were prepared to vote for Moses Wetangula as the next speaker, who were in a tight race with Kenneth Marende. The Azimio MPs aired out their grievances. They wanted the sittings to be objected and no voting could take place. But the clerk stood firm and said voting must continue, and they voted vigorously for Moses Wetangula, with Kenneth Marende coming the second and resigning from the second contest. This shows that there's a lot of lack of directions and future for the Azimio team. Now let us focus on the majority whip, majority leader, and deputy majority leader, and deputy majority whip. The Kenya Kwanza teams, which are always strategically planned, are going for a retreat this weekend. They are going to look for a person who can move government business in parliament. That person possibly will be either Kimani Ichung'wah or Adan Duale. But considering regional balance, Adan Duale might go, giving Kimani Ichung'wah the deputy majority leader, or else the vice versa. The whip might go to the Kisii region, for regional balance must play out very well in the parliament, just as you have seen the Western been given the speaker, the Coast given the speaker of the Senate, and deputy speaker given to the Rift Valley. Now, so let us just wait and see what comes next. The next issue is the inauguration ceremony. What does the law say? In Article 142, it states clearly what should take place when there is an handover between the incumbent president and the president-elect. The Assumption of Office Committee, which constitutes of, number 1, Chief of Defense of the Kenya Defense Forces, 2, Inspector General of Police, 3, Head of Public Service, 4, Principal Secretary in charge of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, 5, Principal Secretary in charge of the Ministry of Interior, and 6, the Minister for Interior with the National Intelligence Service. The National Security Council constitutes majorly the Assumption of Office Committee with 3 emissaries from the President-elect. Functions of the Assumption of Office Committee. Number 1, facilitate communication between the outgoing president and the president-elect. 2, facilitate the security of the president-elect. 3 is to draft the program of the swearing-in ceremony. And lastly, to perform any other duty between the president-elect and the outgoing president as far as handing over is concerned. What are we expecting on Tuesday? Number 1, we will expect the change of guard between the outgoing president and the president-elect. The outgoing president or the incumbent will arrive earlier, inspect the parade mounted by the Kenya Defense Forces, and then leave to the podium where the swearing in of the president-elect between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. will take place in presence of the Chief Justice. Later, there will be the change of guard between the outgoing president and the president-elect. And finally, he will then inspect the first parade as the commander-in-chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. That is what we expect on Tuesday 13th for the swearing in. Thank you very much.